Okay, so quick question, yeah? How good does a mid-range phone have to be before we can actually call it a flagship killer? For example, the Camon 40 Premium. It has a premium looking design. I mean, you can tell that so much thought and effort went into the design of this phone. It has an IP68 and 69 ratings when it comes to water and dust protection. You also get a 1.5K LTPO AMOLED display. It is powered by one of the highest mid-range processor, the Dimensity 8350 from MediaTek, and you also get a 50 megapixel triple camera system that delivers some really sharp portrait pictures. And then let's not forget the fact that you also have 70 watts fast charging for the 5100 mAh battery that it comes with. So again, with all these features packed inside this phone, can we confidently call the Camon 40 Premier a flagship killer? Now, compared to the Camon 30 Premier of last year, Tecno kept most of the good specs intact, like having all of the major accessories in the box and also the design, which I feel it is really good for continuity. Tecno also retained the high resolution stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos, so yeah, very good audio quality out here. You also have the infrared remote sensor for controlling your device at home, an LED indicator at the back for notifications, which as you can see now is integrated with the flashlight. In addition to all of this, you get a new button called the one tap button, which if you double tap it is going to activate the flash snap feature, which is a camera feature that we're going to talk more about much later. Also, at the back, did you notice that that slight elevation we had in the Camon 30 Premier is no longer there? It's now just flat all through. Now this makes it super suitable for you to just place your index finger on it and hold it with one hand without it falling off at all or shaking at all. However, there seems to be no eco-friendly leather option available, as we only have two colors, the Emerald Lake Green color and the Galaxy Black color, which is the one I have here. But once you slap on this case that comes with it to the phone, it gives you this leather-like feel, which, yeah, it still kind of like makes you remember the eco-friendly leather option that we had last year. As for storage, sadly, there is only one option available, 256 gig, and it is not expandable, which is kind of like disappointing for me because last year we had 512 gigs, so you had options, but now what you buy is what you get. But if it's any consolation at all, we actually have 12 gigs of RAM that you can expand up to a whopping 24 gigabytes. But if you're looking out for any kind of improvement when you compare the Camon 30 Premier to this one, then of course you're going to find the very first one in the build quality. Remember, the Camon 30 Premier is an IP54 rated device, but for this one, like I said before, it is both 68 and 69 when it comes to the IP rating. So I would say Tecno did keep a lot of the good stuff and made some improvement here and there, which is really commendable. Now, switching to the display, without mixing words, this is like the best display you can get in any mid-range phone right now. And I mean all of them, including the Pixel 9a, the Nothing Phone 3a, or even the Samsung Galaxy A56 that I have right here. All of these phones I just mentioned actually are 1080p in their resolution, but for the Camon 40 Premium, it is 1.5K resolution. It's also 144 Hz when it comes to refresh rate, and it is LTPO, so it can go as low as 10 Hz, and that really helps when it comes to battery life. The bezels are super symmetrical, it is AMOLED, it has HDR support, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. So pretty much high-end specs for a mid-range phone. Now, in my experience, I particularly like how sharp colors are when you are viewing pictures that you took with the cameras of this phone. On this phone, you really will enjoy it. And for context, this is how it looks side by side my S25 Ultra that has a 2K resolution screen. Yeah, it is not as good as that. You can clearly see the difference, but it is very close, which is super impressive. The fingerprint scanner is optical and it works really fine and fast. I actually found it to be faster than what I have in my Galaxy A56, which also has an optical fingerprint scanner. Now, if you are looking for another upgrade to the Camon 40 Premier, then you definitely will find it in the processor. It is now powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8350 Ultimate processor. Now, in comparison to the 8200 Ultimate in the 30 Premier, I would say it is just a slight upgrade in performance. But considering how good and fluid and smooth the 30 Premier was, I would say any upgrade on the 40 Premier, no matter how little it is welcome. Animations are fluid and very smooth. Games run really smooth thanks to its very high refresh rate. And the phone doesn't get heated up even after extensive gaming sessions thanks to the much improved vapor cooling chamber for, of course, more efficient heat dissipation. Even when I was running Antutu checks on this phone, which is something that usually makes most phones to go ballistic when it comes to heating, yeah, this phone did heat up a bit, but not to that extent where you would be worried. There's also bypass charging, which means even when you are playing games, you can use power directly from source and not the battery of the phone. This really helps to reduce heat generation during long gaming sessions, so I really would advise you do that. Games like Call of Duty Mobile run smoothly at 60 frames per second if you're playing at, say, very high graphics and maximum frame rate. Or you can take it to 90 FPS if you're running on pretty low graphics and ultra frame rate. So overall, I would say the performance on this phone is top notch. As to how it compares to smartphones like the Galaxy A56, well, just drop a comment below if you want me to make a full head-to-head review of these two phones. And depending, of course, on how many comments I get and how this video does, I will definitely be making that video. Software-wise, we actually get Android 15 out of the box with iOS version 15. So you get to really experience the new Tecno AI, which you get to feel immediately you turn on this phone after, say, unboxing it. My experience using iOS, I would say, has been really blissful. It is super packed with a lot of features that I found really interesting and useful. But nowadays, the truth is software experience isn't complete without AI, mostly for mid-range phones like these and, of course, the flagship. And the fact that by just swiping to the left of my home screen, I can have access to all of the Tecno AI features on this phone has really been helpful. But in order for this video not to be unnecessarily long, I will not be diving deep into each and every one of them. But here are some that is worth mentioning. We now have LR briefing, which works just like the Now Brief in Samsung phones. But for now, it just shows weather and all of that. We also have call assistant, which is super useful if you want to make clear calls in noisy environments. There's also the LR Smart Touch that helps you to be able to copy text from pictures by just pressing with 2 fingers. There is Circle to Search, the updated one. There is Writing Assistant, Note Assistant, and a host of others. You can actually access them also in the settings of this phone. Now, they may not always be super useful or needed by you, but trust me, you'll always be happy when you need them and they are there. Now, let's talk about cameras because there is a whole lot to unpack when it comes to the cameras of this phone. It sports an impressive 50 megapixel triple camera system that includes a 50 megapixel Sony LYT701 camera, a dedicated 50 megapixel telephoto lens, and of course, a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera. At the front, we actually also get a 50 megapixel selfie camera. So it's like a whole quadruple 50 megapixel cameras. I took tons of pictures with this phone camera. I would say all of them were really impressive. Super consistent when it comes to processing, good color reproduction, dynamic range processing was always on point, and honestly, everyone was just impressed with the amount of details that and quality of the pictures taken by the cameras of this phone. But like I said before, the best part of this camera system is the dedicated portrait lens. This is what I have used the most ever since I have been trying to test this phone. And every single time I would say the result, it really wowed me. Colors, edge detection, dynamic range processing, everything was always on point. So if I see a car or a Jeep that I like and I'm kind of far away, I can always take pictures like these ones at different focal length and still be able to retain lots of details in the pictures. Now, I also went out late evening to actually check out the cameras of this phone because one of the strengths of the Sony sensor that it comes with is good performance in low lighting conditions. And once again, as you can see in these pictures, I think it didn't disappoint. They came out really good. Videos in 4K 30 or 60 frames per second with the back cameras are really good and ultra steady. Even though I was moving here, you can hardly notice, and you can see how much it captures really good details, have high clarity, and overall, I would say the video is very, very usable. However, I did experience some issues when I'm recording videos with this phone. For example, when I try to zoom in, you can see how jumpy the footage looks, especially when I'm using a slider, which normally should make switching lenses and zooming in to be very smooth. Now, even when I try to switch using the manual zoom, that is the number input, it doesn't allow me to do so if I'm shooting videos in 4K, 30 or 60 FPS. But if I'm shooting in 1080p, I can use the number inputs to zoom in, but still the video output is very jumpy. So I guess whether you're using the slider or the number input, it just kind of like seriously ruins the video. So maybe a software update will be able to fix this, but until then, I will advise that if you want to shoot video, just select the lens that you feel is best for you and stick with it all through the whole shooting process. Now, switching to the selfie camera, now just like the back cameras, I would say it took some really impressive pictures with enough details, good background blur, excellent sky processing, and skin tones was also really on point. Okay, so this is a front-facing camera of the Tecno Camon 40 Premium. Like, what do you think about the video quality at 4K 30 frames per second? It is super, super nice. Honestly, like, the dynamic range is so on point. I can literally see the clouds right here. It's super nice. But let's check out for stability as I'm moving. What do you think? I think it's still pretty stable. I'm still going to check out the final footage in my laptop later on, but this is massively impressive. I mean, okay, thank you Abuja for having me. Time to go back to base. As usual, just let me know what you think in the comment section below. My guy is waiting for me in the car. I'll catch you in the next one. Of course, we can't talk about the cameras of this phone without talking about the most advertised feature, which is the flash snap that you can activate using the one tap button right here. It is a really good feature to have in your cameras if you have kids that would always like to run around when you want to take them pictures. It can come in really handy. Now, going back to AI, in the gallery app, there's actually some features in the AI studio. Now, if pictures are taken in portrait, you get 3 AI options, which are the AI sharpness, the AI eraser, and of course, the AI extender. Now, the AI sharpness works just like the remaster feature in Samsung phone, as it helps to brighten up your image and just makes it look better. However, in regular photos that are not portraits, there are no option for AI sharpness, which I kind of feel it doesn't add up, because there are times when I would feel like really improving the sharpness of a picture I took, but in normal mode and not in portrait mode, but I really can't do that. So maybe it's a mistake or something that a software update could possibly fix. I don't know. So in all honesty, I would say I think it is impossible not to be impressed with the cameras of this phone, the Camon 40 Premium, as it ticks all of the boxes and offers a whole lot when it comes to features, and of course, better than what most of the competitors in this region are actually offering. Another slight improvement you get to find in the Camon 40 Premium when you compare it to the Camon 30 Premium of last year is in the battery department. It now sports a larger 5100 mAh battery, but still retains the 70 watts charging speed capacity. So consistently all through my usage, I was able to go from around 20% back to 80 or 100% in about 45 minutes, which is really, really fast for someone who really don't have so much time to charge phone. Now, usage is also pretty impressive. Consistently, I was getting more than a day of intensive usage. I mean, the only reason why I couldn't really use this phone as alone without my S25 Ultra is because of the fact that there is no eSIM support on this phone. How Tecno missed that, I just don't understand. I mean, that is a feature that this phone should definitely come with. So overall, I would say the Camon 40 Premium is an exciting phone to have. For about 700,000 naira or $450, you are getting almost the best in every single department. Super vibrant LTPO display, massively efficient processor, an improved battery life, super excellent cameras, top when it comes to build quality, and of course the software experience is also great. Now, I didn't mention the fact that you actually get 3 years of software support. That will definitely keep the processor of this phone maximized and fully optimized. But still, just share your thoughts in the comment section below what you think about the Camon 40 Premier. And of course, let's just continue this conversation down there. I'll catch you in my next video.